I didn't know. I'm sorry, sir.
Please, may I have another?
Another kin penis.
Alrighty.
Anyways.
You ready?
Who's starting off? You, me, God?
I can start off.
Jesus. Okay.
God, step in. Zeus.
Oh my, you! So dumb.
He's like, I knew you were going to say that, so it is not funny. Because I have created you, my child.
I've made you to be subpar at humor.
I made you, molded you. You merely adapted.
I had seen you before you were a man.
Babe? Oh, God. All right. Hi, Tired. I'm Matt.
And I'm Ryan.
And
we're gamers.
That seemed a little different.
That's a lot different. And
I'm not going to say bad, but it's definitely have to get some used to.
It's horrible.
So, as you guys know from the name change, that we're going from the Dadcast and going to kind of start focusing towards games and how we're gamers. Did you want to go into a little bit more detail with that, Ryan?
Sure. Well, you see, like most men,
Oh, God.
like most men our age, we kind of go through a little bit of a crisis, and I can't even do that with a straight face. Yeah. So we kind of came to a conclusion that we really like to talk about video games, and video games have made
like it.
Yeah. We like it a lot. We kind of realized that was somewhere where we would always kind of step back to, and it really molded us
Bane.
in our lives. Video game bane, or video bane for short. It really molded us as children, and even now, even as adults, you know, it's a big part of our lives. When it comes to relaxation and downtime and, you know, things like that. And so, because we always go back to it, why not make that the focal point of what we talk about?
Exactly.
Instead of trying to do all kinds of weird, wacky stuff that doesn't really stick or do anything.
Yeah.
So,
I can't tell you how many questions I got and be like, oh, you have a podcast? What's it about? Fuck if I know.
yeah.
We're dads just talking.
Well, it's called the High Tired We're Dadcast. Oh, so you talk about being dads?
Not really. We talk a lot about video game stuff.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where our idea kind of went. And I thought, and you thought this as well, you're thinking this, that for this first episode, we want to look back not only at the podcast that we've made so far, but kind of the video games that came through this last year of us podcasting.
Yeah.
And so I think starting with the podcast and kind of like the whole premise behind it will probably be a good starting point for us. So yeah, I mean, what did the podcast mean to you, and like what did it kind of unlock, I guess, for us as friends, do you think? Yeah,
so I guess to try to make this part really brief, because I could probably go on a long tangent about this, but you probably remember, I think it was sort of the end of 2022. So that was around the time I started working at the art museum, and it started getting sort of that creative mind of mine going again, which I hadn't really tapped into for a long time. And, you know, I'd had thoughts previously and months previous about doing something creative. And the thing that kind of popped out to me was podcast. Do a podcast. That's cool. And you can do the editing. You love doing that shit. So I was like, podcast. But I'm not the type of person really that, you know, I tried doing YouTube by myself years before that. And it was just, I I'm not funny. I'm not entertaining, or at least on my own.
I think differently, but go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, at least I'll put the disclaimer that on my own, trying to talk to like a mic on my own can
Who's
be.
Mike?
Well, that's what Mandy thought my name was for a while. Sorry, sweetie, I love you. But it was just like really, I don't know. I did not think that I did a very good job at it, which obviously like that doesn't surprise anybody, I don't think, because if it's not something that you've trained yourself to do over a period of time, you're not going to be good at it. But I didn't really have the time or the willpower to devote myself to doing good at it. Mm-hmm. And so I dropped it. And so I knew if I wanted to do a podcast, I didn't want to do it alone. I wanted to do it with, somebody that I can say, oh, they're like my best friend, and this is going to go very well because it's just going to be the two of us, like shooting the shit.
Yep.
And the one person that just I kept thinking about it, and I was like, he probably would get on board with this somehow. Was you?
Yep.
And so I think I had mentioned it kind of as like an offhanded like joke a couple of times.
Yeah, you offered it as a joke, and I was like, are we really doing this? Is this a joke? And then we just like hopped on Discord, and you started recording, and I was like, is this real? Is this a joke?
Yeah, I was kind of checking the field there, and then you were kind of like, yeah, I'd be on board if you want to. And so, yeah, we recorded, mm-hmm. and I was actually really excited about it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and this will be really good too, because the one thing at the time in regards to like our friendship that I really, that's going to come off really weird. I was going to say I really hated. Not specifically about like mm-hmm. our friendship, I guess, but it's related to it, is the fact that like we were so busy being adults with lives and being like parents and mm-hmm. like stuff that we didn't make a lot of time to like hang out mm-hmm. or talk or whatever. Yeah. And so this was sort of a way to force ourselves yep. to every week sit down, hop on Discord, talk to each other and record, and sort of like get our friendship, reconnected in like the way it used to be, because we used to see each other like every week.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Spend the night over at each other's houses all the time. Yeah. We were playing games constantly together.
Yeah,
and
so much that your mom views me as a son.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So and it's
I call you brother all the time. Yeah, because like you're literally like a brother.
We call each other like uncles to our children. Yeah. So it's crazy, and I think a big major portion that like got in the way of our friendship was me being in the military and being in a different state.
Yeah.
So I was really wrapped up in that for a very long time. And then I think what made the podcast so great, even if people didn't listen to it, it was just us rediscovering each other mm-hmm. and be like, wow, I never knew that about you. And,
yeah.
So yeah, I think it was really well for us to get back on track. And I also noticed that we talked a lot about video games.
Yes.
All the time.
Yeah.
Like, we'd talk about, like, some random stuff and be like, let's go back to video games. And then even got to a point where I remember you texting me and be like, hey, like, we need to, like, to split up the video game talk so that way we're not all just focusing about video games. So that's how we knew we had a problem.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's... I think a lot of those early episodes were... That was the focus, basically, was mm-hmm. Matthew and I are going to like rekindle like our friendship to like where it was before mm-hmm. and sort of rediscover like some of those things that we didn't really know about each other. Like there's a lot of stories you had / have mm-hmm. that like I had never heard before that are absolutely hilarious.
Yep.
And then, there's like little tidbits and things about like me and what I was going through that you didn't know about, and like, being able to sort of like reconnect on that level was the whole idea behind it, even if not a single person listened to it. Mm-hmm. And it really, I think those first like bit of the podcast really captured that. And I think the going into the video games a lot was that was gonna happen inevitably because like you said in that one episode, like that is kind of a point of like who we are, and it was like a big like stamp inside of like what our friendship is like that shared connectiveness that we have to like different video games and things like that.
Yep.
You know, that is, it is a major point of like, you know, who we are as people. And so it just naturally went that direction. And to the point where, like you said, I was like, maybe we should sideline that in some ways so we can do the podcast. And then it kept happening, I think, to the point where, you know, you had even said, like, that's a major focus of what we do. And we kind of thought about it. We were like, maybe that's just what we should talk about here.
Yep.
Because, you know, like we, especially now being in the same state, like, you know, we get to hang out, we get to do all that stuff, like, all the time, like outside of that, to where, you know, we can shift the focus of this like to that, and it'll still grow our friendship, but like now we kind of have a direction.
Yes.
I guess
100% have a direction, and we're keeping the same soul and spirit of the past podcast. That's a tongue twister. But with the name, with, you know, the high tired, we're gamers, because obviously we're still dads, we're still very tired.
Yes.
And we usually play games very late at night when we're still tired.
Yes, yeah.
After our full-time jobs. Some of us have 2 jobs. But yeah.
Thanks, economy.
Right. The crippling debt.
Yeah.
Oh, God. My throat.
That's what she... Never mind.
Oh, God. Nope. Don't even go there. Nope. Moving on.
Anyways, so...
But, yeah, so we... I mean, kind of looking back on the podcast, I think you kind of hit it nail on the head when you said that it did exactly what we wanted it to do. It, you know, rekindled our friendship and gave us that direction. So with that newfound direction, do you want to start kind of like that other half of our next part of the podcast?
Sure.
So we're going to look back at kind of all the games. I kind of want to focus on the games that were brought up during the Game Awards, really.
Yes. Yeah. So when we were kind of pitching the idea for what exactly we were going to do for this first episode, I think I had kind of made the statement of like, you know, well, the podcast is going to be going in the direction where in the future we're going to be looking at, you know, video games. But in order to look at the future, you know, the video games, we got to look at the past. So we're going to look back and reflect on this past year, which... quite honestly, I think was quite a bomb year for video games. It was really, really good. We got some absolute bangers.
Oh yeah,
this year.
My bank kind of straight empty.
Oh yeah, like I'm sure had I bought more video games, like it would have. Yeah, my wallet would have been suffering in the same exact way. Because I mean, earlier this year we got Tears of the Kingdom, the somewhat long-awaited sequel to Breath of the Wild, which I know is something that both of us were very, very much looking forward to. In regards to the Game Awards, it only won 1 award.
Yes, which I was very surprised about.
I've seen a lot of talk because I actually recently just made a Reddit account again, specifically for the fact that I'm joined a bunch of like video game based like communities and stuff, so I can kind of keep an eye on like things like that or whatever for the podcast. And the Legend of Zelda subreddit and like the Tears of the Kingdom one and stuff, I've seen a lot of talk about how it got gypped at the Video Game Awards and they just didn't give it the rightful like recognition that it deserved, and like it was Game of the Year, but it didn't win Game of the Year, and like things like that. And I highly disagree with that.
I'm glad you disagree with that, because I disagree with that as well.
I'm a huge Breath of the Wild fan, but man, like I think the award that it won was Best Action Adventure Game, right?
Rightfully so.
I think it rightfully so deserved that, especially for like the games that were in that category. I think it deserved to win that. I do disagree with people saying that it should have won Game of the Year, There's a lot of people that said that it may not have won, but it was definitely the only other option.
Mm-hmm.
I also highly disagree with that. This might burn for some Sony players when I say this. And maybe you, I don't know, you might agree with this, I think. Spider-Man 2 and Tears of the Kingdom both were in a similar spot when it came to Game of the Year, and I don't think either of them really had much of a chance.
I agree.
And even if they kind of did, I don't think necessarily like they should have, or at least like there were two games in my mind that were very much the rightful contenders of the two. I kind of knew what was going to be Game of the Year, and I'm not upset that it's Game of the Year.
I'm a little salty.
I can understand that. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't really understand it. But I mean, there's a lot I've read and I've like seen and whatnot that like I can pretty comfortably say, even though I've never played Baldur's Gate 3, that like it probably did deserve Game of the Year. Like it really took a bunch of like steps beyond like what any other video game company would have done.
How long ago did Baldur's Gate 2 come out? It was like a while.
Yeah, because they've been working on Baldur's Gate 3 for a number of years now, I think, because they had like an early access thing. Like, I want to say it was like back in like 20. I might be getting that wrong. I was gonna say 2017, 2018.
They've been working on it for a while.
It's been at least like 5 years or something like that. I think. Yeah. I could be wrong on that, but it's been a number of years they've been working on it. So it's. I don't know, but they definitely took like the steps that they needed to like make it incredible. And
at the same time, I definitely feel like Alan Wake 2 should have gotten that title. I wish there was like a second place award so we could see what the second place was. I
kind of feel that way too, or they would put out like what the scores were like for that.
Exactly.
The way that I see it is so Alan Wake 2 didn't win Game of the Year. There's a lot of people that were saying that it wasn't any competition at all. Like I said, some people said it was Baldur's Gate 3, but Tears of the Kingdom was like very close runner-up. Nobody else was in competition. Highly disagree with that. I think it was Baldur's Gate 3, Alan Wake 2 was close competition. Nobody else was in the running. That was my personal opinion.
Same.
And I think the other awards... sorry to cut you off.
No, it's like...
I think the other awards kind of prove that. So in every field or every category that Baldur's Gate 3 was nominated for, except for I think one, it won. It like beat everything out in like everything, basically. It was a pretty big sweep. The one that it lost was to Alan Wake 2. And it was, I believe, Best Narrative. Which, again, in my opinion, that makes sense. Yeah. You know, that was rightfully deserved.
The game is like a book.
Yes. I think there were two categories that Alan Wake 2 were nominated for that it did not win. One of them was like Best Lead Performance, which went to an actor for Baldur's Gate 3. And then the other one was Best Musical Score, which went to Final Fantasy 16. Which I was even kind of like, woo?
Yeah, I was caught really off guard by that one.
Yeah.
So, but speaking about Final Fantasy 16, just for a quick second, I feel like it was Kingdom Hearts with Final Fantasy 16 skin on it. From the way it played, from the way the story felt. It felt very Kingdom Hearts-esque. So, I don't know, like I was going through, I was like, this game seems very familiar. Like, I feel like I've played a game like this before. And I was like, oh yeah, Kingdom Hearts. Except with that one boss battle where it's totally Sonic. But yeah, so I 100% agree with what you've been saying. And like, I've played, Tears of the Kingdom. I played Spider-Man 2. And don't get me wrong, they're great games.
Yeah.
But Game of the Year, like they're obvious things. Like if those are the only games that came out, totally, yeah, 100%. But so many good games came out during this.
Oh yeah,
and that really hindered their chances of getting Game of the Year. So like Alan Wake 2 came out, and that one came out of complete left field. Like people were begging for it for a while, and they kept it very under like wraps until it was like really close to the end development. But
yeah, I think it was because obviously, you know, Remedy had, you know, they released Control back in,
was it 2018?
2018, I think. Yeah. And then the DLCs came out in like 2019 and 2020 respectively, I think. And then, you know, so they kind of hinted that, oh, like there's going to be more stuff with Alan Wake, you know, with the second DLC. But then, you know, hadn't really said anything. And then I think it was at the Video Game Awards the previous year. You know, they show a lot of trailers, and specifically they show a lot of like world premiere trailers. And then they showed one, and I was watching it this year, or I like watched a part of it like at that point. And, you know, they were like, and here's another world premiere that like we're really excited for. And then it's like, you know, a bunch of like dark stuff is going on. You can't really tell, like see anything. It's all whatever. And there's like little bits of light in there. And then, you know, Matthew Peretta, the voice actor for Alan Wake, starts talking. And his voice is so recognizable.
Yep.
He starts talking, and I'm like, no shit. And then it gets to like the point where it's like kind of zooming in on somebody holding a light, and then you see that it's like, it's Alan. And it's like, oh my God. And then it says Alan Wake 2, and you're like, ah!
Right.
You know, and like I was so excited. I think I was watching it on my phone. And Mandy was watching something on TV, and we're in bed. And I think I literally like kind of screamed like, hell yeah! And Mandy like looks over at me. She's like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, Alan Wake 2 is coming. Alan Wake 2 is coming. I was so excited.
The British are coming. The British are coming.
The British are coming. The Finnish are coming.
Yeah, the Finnish
are coming.
Or the actors are Finnish, right? But yeah, like overall, I think that was a really great game. I haven't even finished playing it because I've been sick, work, life. Yes, all the above.
Checking all the boxes.
Yep. But yeah, so I haven't finished playing it, but I really want to finish playing it. I finished playing Spider-Man 2, and here are kind of my grumps, you could say, on or gripes on Spider-Man 2 is that I feel like, and this may have been the way that I played it, is that because I did all the side quests first.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah.
That I feel like a lot of the major stories and Venom in the game came way too late. Way too late. I feel like it should have been introduced much sooner. Because it, in my mind, came kind of near the middle, near the end. Like kind of in that range. And I feel like there was a big part where like Miles Morales was already having these additional powers awakened from him from the very beginning of the game. And to the point where he has like almost like a final smash kind of thing. And Peter Parker doesn't have a final smash for like half the game. Like when shit gets hairy, you can't press both L3 and R3 at the same time to like get yourself out of it. Like you're just fucked if you're Peter Parker.
Yeah. That actually sounds very Peter Parker.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're playing as Miles, then you get like a giant explosion of electricity and start fighting and like all that and getting like all these like buffs and like health regeneration and all that. So that's my biggest gripe with the game. And then with Tears of the Kingdom, I feel like it was good. However, it wasn't as game breaking as the previous year, because I think Breath of the Wild really broke like the cycle and made something brand new for itself.
Yes,
I get it. It's a sequel. It's got to stay true to what it was, and that's what it did. But it wasn't game breaking. It was stuff we've already seen before, and they just made it a little better.
Yeah, and that's my argument for like where I was at with like those two in particular. Is I think in regards to sequels, I can't really say much for Spider-Man 2 because like I haven't seen really anything on either of the two games. So you can kind of comment on that maybe. But for Tears of the Kingdom, at least, like my honest belief, I don't agree with people that say, well, it's just Breath of the Wild DLC. Like it's not. Like it literally is its own game. Yeah. Like, could you have made it a DLC? Like, sure. Would it have had as much like narrative impact or, could they have fleshed it out as well as they did? You can't do all that in a DLC, I don't think.
Yeah.
Personally. But the thing with it is, like, for being a sequel, like, did it do everything that a sequel should have done, where it took what came before it, changed some stuff, and built upon it, where it's still the sequel, but you still feel new in it? So it's, like, very familiar, but also, there's new stuff to do. There's new stuff to try. There's, whatever. I think it did that almost perfectly.
Yeah.
It hit the nail on the head for, I think, what a sequel should do and should be. Exactly like you said. I completely agree with that statement. It didn't do anything groundbreaking at all, though.
Yeah.
It took what was there and it built upon it, which I think for Game of the Year, that's not really what we kind of look for with the Game of the Year. We look for something groundbreaking.
If they went, like, to a new area, like Link goes to Tetra where Majora's Mask was at, then, like, if they went to a brand new area, kind of like how, Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time did it, to where, like, Majora's Mask was a sequel to Ocarina of Time, but they did it in a new area to where you can explore it and rediscover it, but it had, like, some of the same elements from the last game.
Yeah.
I think if they did something similar to that may have...
And I think too, and that also, I think, brings up another really solid, like, addition to that too, is, like, not only was it just, it's in a different location, and, like, things are different there, but they also introduced like, that whole time mechanic with the moon. You have 3 days, and you revert it, constantly, and you get, like you almost loop it back and forth, like, you get so far doing so much stuff this way in your first 3 days, and then you revert back to the first day. Well, now you can do stuff a little bit faster, how to sequence things a little bit differently, like, things like that, to where, you get to the end of the game where you go to fix everything, like, from, like, doing this differently. And that's like an entirely new sort of mechanic and way of playing the game that is totally not present in Ocarina of Time.
Exactly.
It's not there.
Yeah.
Like, it was different, and it was, it broke a different type of ground. Whereas, like, Tears of the Kingdom, probably Spider-Man 2, I would say in that way, was just, it was 2.0 of the game that came before, right? Like, it had all kinds of new stuff in it, but it was all, like, built on that same foundation. And Alan Wake 2 and Baldur's Gate 3, again, I don't know a whole lot about Baldur's Gate as a series, or like a game series, but this is at least my understanding from what I've seen, is, like, it basically revitalized its genre, like the turn-based, like, RPG, whatever, because it's apparently very different than a lot of other, but yeah, it was like a genre that apparently was, like, has been really struggling for the past, like, number of years and was kind of dying off, and, like, Baldur's Gate 3 really revitalized that, and just all of the pushes and the changes and the everything that they did with it, really pushed for that. Alan Wake 2 took what Alan Wake 1 was, completely flipped it, because that was basically more of kind of an action game with, some, like, thriller and horror elements. And Alan Wake 2 was just straight up, this is a survival horror game.
Yeah, 100%.
Which completely, like, threw... I mean, I've seen some people even say, after playing the first one, they're like, it was my favorite, and I loved it. And then they play 2, and they're like, this is too different, I don't like it.
Yep.
Or things like that. And I'm like, I love that change. I think it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's fresh and new.
Yeah, and I think even compared to... don't get me wrong, I love Resident Evil.
I know exactly where you're going with
I
this.
love The Evil Within. I love those types of games. Most of them are very focused on, like, creature scares, I guess. And things like that. Like, oh, the thing jumps out at you and attacks you, and whatever. And, like, that's where, like, the horror kind of comes in with it. Alan Wake 2, they went more along the side of it's the ambiance. It's the world around you. Like, you're walking through a fucking forest at night, and there's a lot of wind, and you can hear the howling of the trees, and sometimes it'll be pretty completely still, and you're kind of walking around, and you're like, oh, this is nice and relaxing and calm. And then you'll start to enter an area, and the wind will start blowing, and you'll start hearing, like, a twig like, crack in the distance, and, like, the leaves, like,
Or you
like
hear a scream,
picking
like,
up. Yeah, and then you start hearing like some of the Taken like talking like from a distance or something, and you're kind of like,
like it changed the whole feel of it. Like even I think what changed, the biggest one I found in Alan Wake 2 is that like even during the daytime,
yeah,
like the daytime, like where you thought you were safe, and then you go into the woods to get to Coffee World, and then it just gets dark.
Yeah.
Like really dark.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's
don't
crazy.
spoil it for me. I haven't gotten past Coffee World yet.
Yeah.
But
have you switched over and played as Alan at all?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
But I have the idea. It's not Alan. I have the idea it's Scratch, Mr. Scratch. Is it Mr. Scratch or just Scratch?
I don't want to say they're both interchangeable,
Oh, okay.
but because you're also kind of missing and we'll have to play this together on like the channel and stuff, or we're going to because I love it so much.
Yeah.
So they had Alan Wake's American Nightmare between Alan Wake 1 and 2. Way closer to Alan Wake 1 than it was to 2. But it has Mr. Scratch as like the primary antagonist in it, which is probably like a because he's a literal doppelganger in that one. Like as opposed to like you're seeing a lot of like the dark presence type stuff in this one, like comparatively. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's a weird like dichotomy of like you're hearing a lot of like, you know, Scratch is like coming or whatever, but it's just like a lot of crazy shit is like going on, but you don't like see him right off the bat or like, you know, like things like that, you know, whereas he's very upfront and center in American Nightmare, which is like really, it's probably going to be a little bit jarring like in a way, but it's really fun and it's fantastic. And for being what it is, which is like a little like side arcade game type thing. I mean, it's not like an arcade game, but it was on Xbox Live Arcade. And it's like a little like side, like it could have been a DLC type thing.
Gotcha.
It was much longer than one, but like, you know, for being what it was, it's fantastic. I love it. But
nice.
Yeah, so not having like that like knowledge of him like first and then seeing like the stuff in Alan Wake 2 is a little bit like weird.
Yeah. And I will say that it is a little weird, but like yeah, I think Alan Wake 2 is a really great game. Haven't even finished it yet, but so far it's been great. And it's been something brand new, and I'm rediscovering, you know, what's the place called? I can't remember.
Bright Falls.
Bright Falls, yes.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm rediscovering it and be like, oh yeah, it's like the festival, like the Deer Festival or whatnot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, it is during that time. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's the same like person behind the counter that served Alan his coffee. Like now it's serving like the FBI's agents. And I even went down that one hallway to see what would happen like, in the darkness.
You go into the bathroom, yeah.
yeah, I did that. And I was like, what's going to happen? It's just, it's a really great game. And without playing Baldur's Gate 3, I feel like we can't judge it and like rule it out. Because, we don't like that game. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's on my radar to pick it up on, because it originally wasn't on Xbox. It was just on PlayStation. I think
now it's just on Xbox now, isn't it?
Right after the Game Awards, it went up on Xbox.
Gotcha.
So that it's available on Xbox now. And at some point, I'm probably going to pick it up because I have to see what the big deal is.
Right.
And, you know, like I played D&D when I was in high school. And, like, I'm not super, super familiar with, like, the lore of Baldur's Gate specifically. But, like, they had a Magic the Gathering set that was set at, you know, in Baldur's Gate.
Oh yeah.
In the Baldur's Gate universe. And so like some of the characters in the game they have actual like Magic the Gathering cards like for them and stuff. And, you know, so I'm familiar with like some of it. And I'd be interested in jumping in and learning a little bit more about that and seeing actually what makes the game tick and, you know, why people love it so much and love the company and everything. So, you know, I'd be interested and excited to jump into that. So that's on my to-do list also.
Nice.
But yeah.
Well, I think we talked a lot about it at the Game Awards. I don't know where we are time-wise with any of this. Sweet.
I don't know if that made sense.
He just flipped me off.
That's a lot of fingers to flip somebody off with.
Right? No, I'm kidding.
35 minutes was what I was trying to
Yeah,
say.
yeah, I know. But yeah, so the last thing I want to talk about the Game Awards, just real quick, is the 100% diss that
I know
was
you're
given on like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And this last one, because it was straight like garbage of a storyline that they put for this new Call of Duty game. And I'm glad even an actor recognizes how much garbage that was. Like,
I can't remember the actor's name off the top of my head. But it's the gentleman that voices Kratos in the God of War series. Yeah, just straight up crapped on Call of Duty. And it was funny because he came out to introduce the very first award. Like, so this was like top of the hour. Like
everybody's watching.
Like 5, maybe 10 minutes into the award ceremony. And he just rips on him so bad. And the entire audience is just like, oh, like, it was so great.
And I find it so funny that Call of Duty didn't even come back and like acknowledge it. Like they knew like, yeah,
he's probably right.
We cash grabbed. That's exactly what we did.
Yeah. And to use Modern Warfare as the way to do it, I'm so upset.
Which one, great. The second remake, it was still really good. Like I didn't mind it at all. Third one, the only reason I got it is because I heard there was zombies back.
Yeah.
And I played the story. And I'm like, am I just on a fucking DLC, like on a multiplayer map? Am I just on a multiplayer map and just finding like areas that I need to go to and just listen to this walkie-talkie and that's the story?
Yeah.
And like literally it was like so fast. And it was straight garbage. I didn't even want to play zombies after that.
Wow.
And I was like, I don't even want to play this because we've been talking about sequels and how they build on things.
Yeah.
Literally, the third game could have been DLC. Like, and
yikes.
I mean that with all my heart because the story was not there. 2 hours, maybe, if you're lucky. And then the weapons you would find, all the exact same weapons from Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 1. They, like, even to the point, like, all my progress and experience was saved from when I played the first and second one.
Wow.
To where I would go back to this weapon, like, okay, I guess I can max out this weapon again because I like it. And I was like, oh, wait.
It's already maxed.
It's already maxed out. Wait, I already have all my skins from the last game?
Wow.
Wait, is this a DLC? Did
I
just pay $70 for a DLC?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So, yeah, it did not do well in my fancy.
Yeah, yikes.
Yeah. So, in my eyes, like, it just terrible, so.
Yeah, I think I saw on, like, the Xbox store page, like, 2 or 3 weeks afterwards, it was on sale for like half off. I was like, that doesn't really bode well for,
Yeah, like after that they're like, yeah, we got caught. Okay, 50% it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not good at all.
Wow.
Did not like it.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think this is a good transitioning point for us to kind of not only end this first episode of our podcast, but to kind of lead into what we're going to be playing. This is kind of going to be sandwiched in between our YouTube channel.
Yes, you're going to see the first episode of the, I guess I'll say show to kind of avoid confusion for us too. But like of the YouTube show. So we've already done like the change of like the channel to the Dadly Duo. All that stuff has kind of already taken place. And so the Dadly Duo first episode is going to be going up on the Monday of this week that this episode goes up, episode of the podcast. And so, you'll already have seen that. Episode 2 will come that Friday. This will come up on that Wednesday. And we are going to be playing Sonic Adventure, specifically DX, the director's cut. which literally makes no sense because I think it even had a different director than the original Sonic Adventure.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, quick side tangent here. I watched a video that was basically an analysis of what the difference between the original Sonic Adventure and what Sonic Adventure DX, like the changes and updates and stuff. The original is so much better.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I didn't even realize that.
Oh yeah. There's like things that they did with like the lighting and like textures and like all kinds of different stuff that just like no.
Okay.
It's really funny going and like looking at it.
I'll
like,
have to
the
look at like
differences.
videos after
Yeah,
this.
I'll have to try to find the one that I watched because it was like pretty clear. Like he even showed like here in like the sewers, like under the, you kind of remember like the weird looking design like like the floor tile, like right underneath the ladder. Like when you get to the end part of the sewers and like the casino level, I always thought that was just like a grate or something. Is that kind of like the same?
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Yeah. The like designs on it, that's supposed to be lighting. Like it's supposed to be, there's a grate at the top of the ladder and the light is shining through it and shining onto the floor.
Oh.
Yeah. You totally don't get that in DX. You can see it and it makes sense when you look at like the original version of it. Yeah, it does not look the same. It's so crazy.
Oh, that
like
kind of makes me sad.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, wow. They fucked this up for me.
Breaks the game.
But yeah, I mean it'll be fun. It'll be exciting. We know like how we've divvied up like how we're gonna play it and stuff at this point. So yeah, we're gonna be jumping into that. We're literally going to be starting it right after we finish this podcast episode.
Yeah, so definitely tune in, watch that. You get to hear more of our lovely voices, or annoying, whichever your fancy is.
I'm just kidding.
Right, Squidward. But yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, this may change, so don't hate me. But I think we're going to start with Ryan playing, and then I'll be playing on Fridays.
Yes.
So please tune in. Both will be great, grand, wonderful. You might hear the arthritis in our fingers as we're playing.
Yep.
So come here for the pops and the snaps and crackles and pops. Bring your Rice Krispie treats, folks. So, but with that is the end of our episode.
Yeah.
Are we going to stay tired?
Episode 1. Yeah. High five.
Woo!
Yeah. I wonder if that even came up on the...
Maybe we should do it a little louder.
Yeah.
Woo!
That's still...
Hang on. Look at my
Look
elbow.
at the elbows, yeah.
Look at the elbow. Oh,
there we go. Yeah. Such a manly high five.
We're going to keep all that, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
All right. With that, stay tired, friends. We'll see you on the show.
Yep, we'll see you there.